What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, July 25th, day number 10 inside the Big Brother house. We are on eviction day, the very first live eviction of the season. An important note about the episode, it is at 8 o'clock tonight, not at 9 o'clock tonight. We'll be live 8 p.m. Eastern here on the channel doing a watch along. If you want to come hang out, definitely more than welcome to do that. Especially, hey, if it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. I'm looking forward to see what happens tonight. Let me know what your predictions are for the eviction in the comment down below. Before we get into the live feeds and everything that happened, we did have an episode last night. Just a few little things I wanted to talk about. It's nothing too crazy. It's all stuff we knew, just more about the episode itself. One, I think it was a great episode. It's one of the best ones we've had in a very long time. On top of it, it was a very wild week in the Big Brother house. So it was fitting to have a very nice, wild episode where we got to see the big blow up of Angela and how that all played out. Some of the reactions from the house guests were great. How they really just thought she was coming on down, like doing a little dance and everything. And they're like, hey, how's it going? And then just chaos erupts. What else did we see? Something I thought that was interesting is there was so much that was actually happening, including the TK and the Tucker Renom situation, which I actually thought would get a little bit of time shown in the episode, but they was just so packed they didn't even need any of that. The veto competition was cool. Great to see a classic competition come on back with the spelling. Other than that, really solid episode. Really happy with it. And looking forward to what happens tonight on the live eviction. We're going to get to see the BB arena and how that all plays out. So I don't imagine we'll see a live HOH, which is always a bummer. I love seeing the HOH competition play out, but I'm sure we'll find out tonight on later tonight on the live feeds after the episode who ends up winning HOH. A little bit of catch up though, if you are kind of just jumping in with all the madness. Maybe you saw last night's episode and you're like, hey, I need to catch up on what was happening on the feeds. Angela was HOH. She nominated Chemo, Kenney, and Lisa as the OG noms. Lisa wins veto. Matt gets put up as the replacement nominee. Big blow-ups all happened. You saw it play out on the episode. Currently, he thinks he has the numbers to stay. He's got a little BS alliance, which it stands for the barber shop, but really we all know what it stands for. And not only that does he think he have the numbers, even though it's fake, he also feels good because he's like, hey, the BB AI arena, right? I feel confident that I can go in there and win. But you never know. Maybe it's some kind of crazy competition. I believe the example he used was a crochet, which if so, TK would have crushed him in that one. But all around, it's been drama filled on the live feeds, whether it's Angela blowing up on Matt, Angela blowing up on Kenney, which maybe we'll see on tonight's episode. Who else did we have? Lisa blowing up on Matt post noms. What else did we have? Lisa versus Angela yesterday, which we didn't even get to see. Hopefully, maybe that gets into probably not tomorrow's episode or tonight's episode, but maybe we'll get a little bit of a flashback of that, of like, hey, this happened, right? At some point, maybe on like Sunday's episode when they're talking about HOH and things like that. I'm hopeful we get more insight in it, because apparently it was a wild one that took place yesterday, but feeds were down for a lot of it. On yesterday's feeds, though, it was a little bit more calm, very chill, a little bit more, relaxed. In fact, there was a meditation session that took place. So it was very much a more relaxing environment. Quinn, I'll say this too. At this point, I feel like Quinn is a very brave man. He is committed to trying to work with Angela, despite her basically being just a wild bull that he's trying to rein in and ride at this point. He was telling her, like, just relax, just be yourself. Don't try and live up to anything else or be extra. Just be you. And it seems like she's taken that to heart and she's listening to the point where it's almost too much. guys ever see the TV show From? Really cool show. You probably haven't seen it. Nobody really watches it, I don't think. But the monsters in that are just normal looking people, but they got these grins that they're always smiling. And there is something a little bit more creepy about that when you're just looking over and just like, this is more unnerving. I'm waiting for the drama to come. I'm waiting for the danger, and this is worse. So it was maybe a little bit too much of an overcorrection on her part, but still, nonetheless, trying to be a little bit more chill. Quinn also had a great cam talk where he gave us some more insights into his game. I do always appreciate when players take the time to have a little conversation with us on the feeds. And he was saying that, like, listen, I've been going around telling a lot of people I want to win HOH, but I've decided I don't want to win HOH. I don't want to have to make any of those decisions, which again, 100% is the play for him right now. There's already plenty of stuff going on where there's definite sides of the house. Nobody's going to be looking at him. And if he wins HOH, he would have to get blood on his hands, and there's just no need. There's no need for him to do that right now. He does also say that, like, he knows, right? The Pentagon Alliance. We've talked about this before. Cam, Cedric, Chelsea, Quinn, and Brooklyn, the Pentagon. Quinn knows that him and Brooklyn, they're in the bottom, and they've had the conversation. They know in the group of 5, they're 4 and 5. So they're going to work together. They're going to look out for each other. He's like, what don't I have going on? I got so much going on. Whether it's with Angela, he's got stuff with TK. He's got stuff with Chemo and Tucker, and even like side stuff with Cam involved in it too. So he knows he's got a lot going on. It's hard to keep track of everything, even for him. But he's liking where he is at this moment. He's even got a little final 2 with Joseph, but he's just like, it's a thing. We're friends. It's not non-committal, but kind of the point of final 2 is it's a little bit committal. But he's like, we're just final 2 with benefits. That's all we are. But overall, I really just do like seeing those nice in-depth talks with players. Some other things that took place today, Lisa and Leah had a little convo about trying to get Alliance going. The Moonwater Alliance. We talked about the Moonwater ceremony that took place the other night. They really would like to have Quinn involved in this too, since he was at the Moonwater ceremony. TK would be somebody they like. Cam or Tucker would be somebody they like too. Tucker's kind of a fun one. I don't know if he'd be too interested in getting into an alliance with Lisa and their long-standing rivalry, which is more of kind of a one-sided rivalry. Like, I feel like Tucker thinks about Lisa a lot, and Lisa like doesn't even realize it's a thing. But it's definitely something that I don't know if Tucker would be too fond of joining that alliance. She did go to Quinn and TK and approach them about it, though, and they were like, yeah, sure, because you don't say no to an alliance, right? Some other interesting things that we had going on. Rubina. We don't talk about Rubina too much on this podcast. But you know what? Rubina, she's been a little bit invisible, and sometimes you're invisible on the feeds or you're invisible on the show because you're just doing your own thing. Maybe you're not trying to get around too much. You're really just trying to lay low, and it's almost on purpose, and you're doing fine. Other times you're kind of invisible because you're struggling there, right? Maybe you're not making the connections. You're trying, but the connections aren't going your way, and then you kind of feel a little bit left out, so you try a little bit less. Maybe you're just feeling a little bit down and on the outs, and you're just not making as much of an effort that you probably feel you should be. And it seems like Rubina is falling into that latter category. She was feeling very alone, doesn't feel like she fits in very well with everybody. She was kind of having a chat with Lisa and Leia, and they were kind of, comforting her, making her feel better, being like, hey, no, you got this. And I'll be honest, if we go to our allegiance chart, which I've really started to like, Rubina's not in a terrible spot, right? I feel like she's got more social capital than some people. I would say actually this is a little bit slightly, maybe a little bit outdated. I want to wait till after the eviction to kind of do a new one and kind of set up where things are, kind of sides of the house, things like that. If I right now in this moment, I'd probably like scoot TK up, right? Probably put her next to Chemo, just a little bit above Joseph, but I'd actually say Chemo and TK a little, just slightly below Rubina, like really close. I'd actually say the four of them are really similar spots in the game. So I wouldn't say that Rubina's doing too bad right now. But sometimes your perception of how you're doing in there is very different than how you are actually doing in there. So hopefully Rubina starts having a little bit better time in there. We did also get, campaigns of the like, Chemo was going around trying to make sure he has the votes. Uh, Kenney, I feel like Kenney is just more about like, he's like, I'm going to win that comp. Like, I don't even think Kenny's like trying to get vote. Like, I'm being honest here. I don't know if Kenny's actually campaigning. I'm kidding a little bit. He's kind of campaigning, but like, not enough, right? Like, not enough for the position that Kenney is actually in the game. He needs to be doing more. And then Matt went around, doing his pitch as well. And Matt's pitch is almost like a pitch for like the next John Wick movie. He's like talking about how he's gonna get revenge for his mother. Like John Wick was a movie that all started because some guy messed with a dude who messed with his car and his dog. Like this is Matt's movie of it. She messed with my mom and I gotta get her back. I'm going for Angela. I need the revenge. And it was pretty funny to watch him go through this. He did though, while he was going around the house doing his thing, he did at some point overhear Brooklyn and Rubina talking game. And during that chat, at some point they brought up, the noms and the vote. I don't know exactly how much he heard, what he actually heard. It was enough to sketch him out. He ended up filling in Leah and MJ about this. And it's enough where he started maybe going like, I don't know. Should I be worried? Should I actually be worried? But I still don't think he's actually worried. I feel like he feels very confident going into this thing. Like I said, he's putting in the work at the very least. So bravo to him for that. But it's definitely feeling like, to me, fairly much wrapped up. There were a few questions like Lisa was kind of filled in by Quinn and even a lot of other people that, hey, listen, Matt doesn't have the votes, right? Like if you kind of look at the allegiance chart, like I said, it's almost even a little bit outdated because now at this point, Cam, Cedric, Chelsea, they're all on the other side of the house ready to vote out Matt. Pretty much there's a few different scenarios this can all go, right? Because we have the BBAI arena, which we'll have to see that take place tonight. And the three nominees are going to compete in that. The winner will be safe. So we could end up with either Matt and Chemo on the block, Matt and Kenney on the block, or Kenney and Chemo on the block. And in each of those scenarios, I think Chemo is safe against anyone, whether he's up against Matt, whether he's up against Kenney. Chemo should be very secure in staying. Tucker would vote for Chemo. Quinn would vote for Chemo. TK, Joseph, Rubina, Brooklyn, Chelsea, Cam, Cedric would be voting for Chemo. There's just very much in a landslide. Chemo would be staying if he's left on the block with either Matt or Kenney. Matt or Kenny's where it actually gets maybe a little bit more interesting. I think it's all settled now to the point where everybody's going, yeah, let's just get rid of Matt. But there was maybe some arguments, right? Not arguments, but it was put out there, right, by several different people. Cedric thought about it. Lisa was actually putting it out there too. She's like, is it strategically smart to get rid of Matt right now? And we've kind of talked about it on the show before. My thoughts are, at the end of the day, when you get into the diary room to cast your vote, you should be evicting the best player that's on the block, right? If Matt's on the block with Chemo or Kenney, Matt, I would think, is the more dangerous player, somebody who can win competitions, and is definitely going to be someone who, if you kind of bring him back into the game and let him stay, he's charismatic enough where he could cook, right? He could start building numbers. He's got MJ. Leah's pretty close to him. If Kenny's happens to be the one that's staying in the house, I don't think it would be that situation, right? At the end of the day, I think you vote out Matt, but you could, if you think about it, you're like, there's a few reasons, right? He'd be a great shield for you, especially if you're someone like Lisa. You're someone like Lisa, you want Matt to stay. Lisa saying that Matt staying is a good strategic idea. For her, it really is. I think Lisa is going to be in some big trouble next week if Matt is not here. I think she's really got to worry. Maybe if Kenney is on the block with her, she could end up lasting. But even then, I would 100% see scenarios where it's Lisa and Kenney on the block, and they decide, you know what, we kind of feel like we can work with Kenney. Kenny's a more stable number, and that very much could be a situation. So we know that Kenney and Cedric had a kind of initial attraction to each other, where he was like, he reminds me of my son, right? So maybe there could be a connection there that he builds if he ends up staying. So again, I could see where if you're Lisa, you're like, actually, you know what, Matt being here is probably good for me. So just to, off the bat, philosophy, get out the better player. There are some certain situations where you could go, yeah, it could be beneficial for Matt staying, which is why I think at the end of the day, everyone's just going to vote to evict Matt. If Matt is up on the block, he's gone. If it's Kenney versus Chemo, he's gone. And I think that'll be what it is. Matt first, Kenney after, and it will be settled at that. Anything can happen. Anything can happen with the BB arena. What do you guys think of all the different scenarios? Would you just automatically vote for Matt if he ends up on the block after the arena? Would you maybe consider keeping him? Who do you think is actually going to be going home? Will it be Kenney? Will it be Matt? Will it be Chemo? I think Chemo's 100% safe. Let me know down there. Also, who do you want to see win the next HOH? I was talking about that as well. If you're someone like Quinn, if you're someone like Chelsea, you're someone like Cam, Cedric, especially Cedric, Cam, and Chelsea, they kind of talked about how they were like, yeah, we'll win HOH, and if Matt, Lisa, MJ, or Kenney, whoever's here, one of those three will go up. I feel like they are actually in a good spot where any of those people do stay and one would win HOH. They wouldn't be going after Chelsea. They wouldn't be going after Cam, and they wouldn't be going after Cedric. They would go after Angela. They would go after Chemo. They would go after T-Core. So it's almost not beneficial, just like Quinn was saying. I don't want to have to make that decision. Why do I got to make that decision? Why do I got to get the blood on my hands? So that'll be kind of interesting. Whoa, one more thing. I almost forgot about this because it did happen so late, and it's on my notes here so far down. There was a really nice late night chat with TK and Chemo, talking again about the votes and things like that. But then they went deeper about, making sure that they stick together. They kind of like solidified like a final two. They were trying to come up with like final two names, but they really couldn't come up with anything. At one point, though, they did come up with like some cool stuff because it was like there's T-Core and Chemo, so like maybe they could be like a lock and key type situation, or they're trying. I don't think they were able to actually settle on a particular name, but they did give some insight into different people and what they're thinking. They like Cam, but they're not 100% sure if he's like who he says he is. They were saying like at the very least, he's smart, and things kind of add up with him, right? It's not like they're saying they think he's lying and he's some like lawyer or doctor or something. But they definitely think like he's downplaying himself, especially when it's going to come to competitions, especially later in the season. So they're keeping an eye. They're keeping an eye, but overall they like him. Tucker's a wild card, but they like him as well. Apparently, there was a little bit of sparks between Tucker and TK. A little bit of flirtation. She has someone at home though, she says, so she's gonna be good. But we'll see. You never know. You never know. But they do also think that both Tucker and Cam, no matter what, right? Even if they're not fully with them, at this moment, they're assets in the game because they can be used to go after people like if Matt stays, if Lisa, Mackenzie, so many different options for them to be able to use them as kind of weapons in this game. When Cedric came up, much like Quinn, they both just kind of just started laughing to each other. Like, he's the little bro, but he's got great social game, and he's definitely a player, somebody to watch out for. Joseph was another one they were like kind of unsure about, but they do think overall like he could be kind of a solid number. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. They were going on for a while. So if you do get a chance to check out one of the clips, I know somebody's going to post it on Twitter somewhere. They always post those. Go find that because there's flashbacks. My immediate thought was, yeah, go watch the flashback. And I was like, there are no flashbacks. Can't say that. That would be rude, wouldn't it? Just tease you. Yeah, go watch it on a flashback. Can't do that anymore. But yeah, that pretty much covers everything that's going on. What do you guys think of everything happening on the feeds? Who, again, would you want to see win HOH? Who do you think's going to get evicted? Let me know in those comments down below. Like I said, we will be live for the eviction episode tonight, 8 o'clock, not 9 o'clock like it normally is. It's going to be at 8 o'clock, kind of for the next few weeks until more delays come down the road. Thank you guys all again so much for watching. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out the links to all my socials in the description down below. Pin comment, things like my Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Kick. I was going to stream some video games the other day, but my computer didn't want to do it. Need to get a new computer. Also, big thank you to everybody. Once again, we hit 10K and we've just been kind of soaring again. We've already passed 11K. Thank you guys all so much for just all the love and support you guys give me on the channel. I will see you all later tonight. And here is a word from Leah.
I will be back tomorrow with live updates of the Big Brother house that you can only find at the live feeds. Be there or be square. Cha-ching!